Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lupo's Cinema Symposium. It's been a little bit. We're finally back. I got sick. Rob got sick. Christian was off doing whatever Christian does. But, nevertheless, we are here. Guys, how we doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Great.
Lovely.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
It is. It's been a long time, and we are very excited to discuss. We had a double feature. This is going to be the first one. And the movie we watched was, well, let me describe it to you. It is a 2007 buddy cop action comedy film directed by Edgar Wright, who co-wrote the film with Simon Pegg. Pegg stars as Nicholas Angel, an elite London police officer whose proficiency makes the rest of his team look bad, so he gets reassigned to West County Village, where a series of gruesome deaths take place. We watched Hot Fuzz. So,
Yeah.
Very good intro.
Good. I was a little concerned before we started this because normally we prepare something, but I just decided to flick it off the dome, off the bean, if you will. Anyway,
yeah, I didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah. What did we end up rating the movie?
I think you should go first, Jim.
Well,
before we do that.
Okay.
Before we do that, I've seen the movie. Christian's seen the movie. He suggested it. You have not seen the movie before, Jim, right?
It was my first time.
Okay. I think we should do yours first.
Okay. Well, in order for me to do that, I have to pull up my
your thing. All right, then I'll go first.
I've been searching for it, but apparently it doesn't do
I'll go.
Your ratings by order.
So mine, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. So pretty good. Very good, actually. Quite magnificent, I must say, but not my highest rating. But it's pretty close. I mean, I probably could talk myself into it, but yeah, I really love that. I love this movie. What about you, Christian?
I also gave this 4.5 stars.
There you go. On the same page.
Sorry, can you in Letterboxd
tell you yours?
A review of something you already?
Oh,
did?
I see it. I just did
it. I just did it.
Yeah, I see what you rated it. So tell the world.
Okay. I also gave it 4.5 stars. So we are kind of in a little bit of an agreement here. Now this is going to be a lot of unnecessary glazing. No, actually, no. It's not unnecessary. It's the appropriate.
It's very necessary. Yeah, because this was really fucking good, man. This movie's so good.
I love this.
Yeah, on a lot of levels. I mean, just right away, the first scene where he's walking in to the police station, and it takes like 10 minutes, and it's just like the way they play with the editing, the way they play with the camera, the timing, and the whole screenplay. It's written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. It's all really good. Yeah, I mean, this movie's awesome, bro. What did you think initially, Jim? Because you haven't seen it before.
So when we first started this, I thought it was going to be like I like when we watch these movies, I don't look anything into them. So when it first kind of pops up, you look at the movie as like a very serious film because you're like, this is like a badass cop that takes no shit. And so I was like, oh, like maybe this is just like a city cop like goes into the county and like I don't know, like just like does like I thought it was gonna be more straight up serious. But there's just like something to like British humor that maybe it's because I'm like getting older now that I like really, really like. Because it's all just about like the mundane life and like playing around with it in just like a cheeky way that like, I kind of didn't appreciate, I guess, until like I watched this movie. And like just for like an example, like it would just be like some dumb shit where like it would be like, like he's about to get like executed or something, and like the other dude will come in and he's like, oh, you're in a little bit of a jam, and then it would like cut to his like foot being in like a jar of jam, like, some random like shit like that. And it's like I just found it so funny.
Yeah. I
I
think they're
big British in
what is it?
particular.
What would you describe it as, Christian? Like a dry, like a wittiness or something?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a wit. There's I guess you would call this dry.
I don't
Um,
know. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's really wacky. I guess over the top wacky, but
it's very British. I think that is really one of the better ways to describe it.
yeah. What
No,
were
I'm
you gonna say?
totally
I think I interrupted you,
who?
Christian. I thought he was saying something.
No, just that I am a fan of this type of humor, though. Especially this movie. Um,
Yeah,
I think the wit doesn't like let up ever.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's packed. I mean, it's like packed. It you every time you watch it, you miss more jokes than you get. Like it's packed with so many jokes. It's one of those kind of movies
right.
where it literally every second there's a joke or there's a setup for a joke that's going to pay off later, and you're not even going to remember like when it happens. There's a lot of stuff like that that's really. I mean, I just don't understand. It's amazing. I don't understand how you can write that way. It's like actually incredible the way they put it all together. It
I
like
mean, I feel like
came
for comedy,
together almost perfect.
I feel like for comedies, they're just like, hey, wouldn't this be funny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know because at the same time, so like one of the things I wanted to talk about with this that goes in a little bit more in depth. It's not just like there are movies where it's just a parody of something, and it could work on some level, or some many cases it doesn't work.
Right.
Like I'm thinking of like A Million Ways to Die in the West, where Seth MacFarlane's also doing like a parody of a genre, and he's trying to like. But I felt like the difference here is Edgar Wright understands technically how this genre works, and he understands it on like it's almost like a scientific level. Like he's stripping down the genre and building it back up in a way that's like just really I don't know. I think it's more than just being like it is partially like, hey, wouldn't this be funny? But it's also like more than that. It's very
It's satirizing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's very complex, like how it comes together. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like the movie so much. Like I feel like because there's plenty of movies where it's just a parody. Like one of the things I don't like so much is like Spaceballs. Like I know a lot of people love Mel Brooks. There are movies of Mel Brooks that I love, but I feel like that is what he does. He just like kind of goes like, "Hey,
It's funny.
wouldn't it be funny
Yeah.
if we made Darth Vader like a Rick Moranis or whatever?"
It's funny you
Like
bring that one up specifically. That might be like the one Mel Brooks movie I'm not big on myself.
yeah, I'm not either. Same, yeah, exact, same here. Um, but yeah, this movie, I just felt like because it works on many levels. It works as a comedy, but I do also feel like it works as the genre it's satirizing. It's like dramatically, it also works in a weird
Which
way. So
Edgar Wright is like very, very good at.
yeah, and I
I
think
mean,
he
he's
proved with movies like Baby Driver that like he can do stuff like that. He
like an
can be
actual
earnest
genre
about
film.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I
He's
think this movie has a lot going for it.
he's done it with horror.
Yeah.
Um, he's done it with, I guess, sci-fi to a degree.
Oh,
Yeah,
World's End, I guess,
he
right?
did it with superhero films.
Sort of, yeah. He wrote it.
There's always like a genre film element to the things he does. Um, and I think you're right. It kind of does display like a very deep understanding of how these movies are supposed to work. Like I love the fucking end of this movie where all the random townspeople bring out guns
Yeah. Yeah. And
because
it's
they're like,
like
"That's when you need the shootout."
there's something to like what you were saying before about like understanding a genre enough. Like it's almost like you have to have a true appreciation for it to really do a good parody. Like it's just like the love of the game. Uh and that was like a cool thing too. It wasn't just kind of like a piss poor shootout just to because the story like demanded it or whatever. Like it was a very like in depth, like intense, like nicely shot. There was like intention and purpose there, and it was just very well done. And it was like a very
Right.
long extended scene that I didn't expect, especially for like a British movie. But they set the scene up for it perfectly with them having like no guns in the movie, but then they raid the storage shed that had like all of the arms of World War II, and then it like plays itself out. Like the entire movie was like that was probably the thing that I appreciated the most is that the movie is setting itself up in the beginning, which you think it's just kind of they almost like get the jokes out of the way. Like there's a lot more just like
Tits.
yeah, like kind of like in our first like when we were talking about Dirty Harry, like our first review of a movie. In the beginning of the movie, it's just kind of like, oh, like this is to to establish the characters and like this is day-to-day life of this like cop who's like interacting with the town or the city. But really it's like building on top of itself to set up for the overall like major story. And it does go from more like comedy to like serious storytelling, especially when like the character hits like the rock bottom of the film and almost gives up before you know finding his purpose again. And I just all those bits put together made me really appreciate this movie a lot. And yeah, just to
Yeah.
piggyback off what you were saying.
It's funny that you mentioned Dirty Harry because I do feel like this is like the anti Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
And it like just the way it portrays him as
Yeah,
like the morality of everything and like the whole ending, how they kind of it's plays out like a your standard like action movie like what is that movie with Denzel? Man on Fire, um, like Lethal Weapon, like stuff like that, or like Point Break, where you think they're going to get into this like shootout, and they kind of do, but at the same time, it's like nothing plays out the way you would think.
yeah.
They don't kill anybody really. I mean, the only people in this movie that die are murdered by the bad guys or like fucking kill themselves, like, or like some accident, like
Yeah.
so. I just think that's awesome. And it was interesting when I think I noticed that more this time. I was more looking for like what they were kind of specifically what they were trying to satirize, and Dirty Harry was something that stood out to me as like this felt very pointed at movies like that where he's just basically going around like fucking people up.
Yeah. The bad cop movie.
Yeah.
The loose cannon.
I also think the biggest thing, like if I can take away one thing from Hot Fuzz, it's how important editing is to comedy because and actually not only just that, it's editing, but it's also just like cinematic, like technical cinematic things like where like how you're using the camera to tell a joke, um giving it like life, it just stuff like because when this came out like the 2000s, we were getting this movies everyone loves like the Will Ferrell movies and like Adam Sandler movies, but a lot of
Like
those yeah, but a lot of those were like
Cheap
they're
laugh.
they're noticeably different.
Yeah.
It's all in the performance. It's all in, it is jokes, but it's
Well, that's
almost like don't notice they're not using the camera. It's like
no,
we don't want anyone to notice what we're doing. It's very
because
basic.
their character, their whole premise for those kinds of movies is that the humor is in the character.
Yeah.
Where I don't think that's necessarily the case for this. Like,
No.
yes, we have a lot of zany characters, but like the humor is in the situation.
And I think it's like cool because it's like there's a certain amount of efficiency where every minute, like if you're counting laughs per minute, like if you're looking at it that way, like this movie gives you like every cent you paid for a ticket or for the movie or whatever, like it gives you the laugh that you signed up for. Um, so I don't know. I just really appreciate that from this movie. I think there's so much like payoff. Like I'm thinking of how it's kind of funny. There's the one guy. Well, first there's the one guy who's like he has the glasses or whatever, and every time they get to a crime scene, he's basically asked Simon Pegg to like tell him what to do. And then in the last scene when they're about to go charge into the supermarket for like the shootout, Simon Pegg's about to tell them what to do, and then the guy interrupts and tells them all what to do. Like just little things like that that pay off in the end, like that you wouldn't even really notice unless you're looking for it. Or like, I have a question for Jim. Jim,
Me.
did you notice the twins in the movie?
They were twins.
Yeah, you didn't
No.
notice them.
No.
So the guys at the police station,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
behind the counter, yeah, he's actually like stuff like that. I love that stuff, man. Like I just stuff that like if you blink you'll miss it. Like that like Arrested it's very much like Arrested Development is a show I love. It's very much in the same style as that where, you know, every minute's packed with jokes. So and Timothy Dalton also, I wanted to say that. Timothy Dalton is fucking awesome in this movie, dude.
He really is.
He's so funny. He's like literally it's like he just got it. Like he knew exactly what they were going for. And then Bill Nye is very in the movie for a very short time. He's really good. Just a lot of good performances. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jim, what did you think of the like mystery elements of it?
Maybe I'm starting to I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb, but like anytime that there's like we talked about a couple movies where there's like mystery involved or like whodunits type beat, and I'm always like the last to pick up who is like the villain or the bad guy or what the big twist is. But I had no idea the villain reveal was everybody. I just thought it was going to end up being because like at a certain point you kind of like pick up on all the dry humor. So I just thought that the bit was just going to be the dude like that you thought was the villain the whole time was, and that was like the joke. But yeah, you know, it being the whole town, and then like explaining how they basically got to that, like how they were able to mess up the protagonist and him just looking like really stupid when he goes to confront the one person. And they were like, "Oh, nah." It's like that actually made me appreciate it more because it's like, "Oh, like okay." Like it might have been the first time in media where I was like, "Oh no, it's like everybody's involved. Everybody's the bad person." So,
well, I think it's like what it's really good at is its subversion, like subversion of tropes and subversion of expectations.
Yeah.
I think that whole ending, I think, is like if you hadn't seen the movie before, you wouldn't like. It's like so ridiculous. You would never think that that's the outcome. It's kind of, but the fact that it is, it's just the way they do it. It's very very funny.
And then like the police chief ends up being like the biggest op the whole time.
Yeah, and it's his dad. And I like the payoff of it. Literally is every like person on every corner, like the guy with the green coat.
Yeah,
you know, in the beginning he's like, "What's he hiding under that coat?" Later on, you see he's hiding
it's
like
a
a big assault rifle or something. So yeah, I mean that stuff's just like it's all how it plays into like just subversion of tropes and like this guy's paranoia being treated as kind of like a bad thing. I mean, it's like I don't know how it's treated as kind of like a bad thing in the beginning, and then it kind of pays off in the end because he was kind of
right all along.
You know, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it also is like interesting how it looks at like the police. Like he's very what I don't know, strict. He's very strict, like by the book cop. But then like he lets the kids who are like doing the graffiti off, and then they end up helping him later. Um, it's just like it's you. He is the like the pinnacle of what a quote unquote good cop is, and I think that's what they were trying to do, and like counteract it against this like kind of corrupt local system where like everybody is involved in the conspiracy, so yeah, I mean, I think that's like kind of interesting how they looked at it, because especially when it came out, like one of the impetus for like this them go making this movie is Edgar Wright felt like there were no English like cop movies. Like they were all like stuff like Snatch, like criminals. So it kind of came from like a very innocent place where he's just like, there's not really any English movies where like the cops are the good guys, and he wanted to make that. And I think it ages really well in that way. It's like kind of a like refreshingly adult take on the movie while also being super childish and silly, like which is really fun. So
Yeah. I'm there's like lore to this movie, am I correct? There's like this is like a unofficial trilogy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah, what does that like mean? Cuz like
I
I always am walking into these things blind as a bat, so I was
so
discussing with coworkers and they're like, "Oh, this is part of like a different whole other thing and all that." So what's the dealio?
So the Cornetto trilogy is a series of Edgar Wright movies that he co-wrote with Simon Pegg. They're called that because I guess cornetto is like the name of like a king's cone kind of deal, like a type of ice cream.
Is there
And
there's ice cream in this movie? Is there ice cream in the other two?
yeah, there is.
Haha.
But it's Shaun of the Dead is the first one. This would be the second one, and then the third one is At World's End,
Okay.
which I enjoy Shaun of the Dead immensely.
Hmm.
Um, I would say it's my favorite, even though I believe this one to be the best of the trilogy.
yeah, I would say I'm definitely more of a fan of Hot Fuzz. Um, Shaun of the Dead I like, and then World's End is like
It's okay.
definitely the most flawed. Yeah, it's okay. It's like it's funny, but unlike Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, I think the um, like the actual story doesn't really work as well.
No,
Which that's why I like Hot Fuzz the most. I think out of the three, it's funny, which they all are funny, but it also has like the framework, like it holds tension really well. Um, like, and that's really important in it's like a mystery thriller type movie. So like, and then balancing that with the humor, because every time you tell a joke, theoretically that's like cutting the tension. But I think the movie does a good job of kind of holding it throughout and keeping you pretty engaged in the mystery. So yeah, I think I like Hot Fuzz the most of the three.
it's the most cohesive. Um, I Shaun of the Dead is just a very like I don't know what I would call it, nostalgic movie for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I think Shaun of the Dead is also great. It's just different. It's a different kind of movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Although
yeah, I
I
haven't
fucking
seen it in a
love
while. I do have to rewatch it.
I love the characters in this film though so much. That's so funny how Simon Pegg and I don't know the actor's name.
Nick
Um,
Frost.
the cop Nick Frost, how they interact, the chemistry they have.
Yeah, yeah. I think Nicholas Angel. I think they bounce off each other well because he's like a workaholic, and then the other guy's like he's a nepo baby. He's an underachiever, like not doing anything with his life, and it's kind of beautiful. They kind of give each other like purpose. It's kind of nice, and they, like on one hand, like Simon Pegg is good at his job, but like at the same time, he's a fucking psycho at this like that can hardly like function outside of those parameters of his job. So like Nick Frost is good for him. It's like just a nice buddy. It literally is like a nice buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where uh, they watch Bad Boys and Point Break, and later on you get both the bad boy moment and then the Point Break moment with the gun, and he's like shooting into the air. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is all around fucking just packed with great fucking.
What would you say was your favorite like gag or bit?
Ooh, that's a good question, Jim. What do you think?
I have one right off the top. If you need time to think,
It's hard to think about all of them. The only the first one that comes to the top of my head is the bit of like when he first gets there and he goes to the bar and he basically like kicks everybody out. Like he like goes one by one. Like there's always like there's like something wrong with like every table, and then it eventually just ends up emptying out the whole bar, and the bartenders are sitting there like pissed at him.
yeah, that was good. I think the one I always go back to, other than the opening one and the one, well, there's now that I'm thinking about it, there's three I like, but the one I like the most is kind of a play off Shaun of the Dead, and it's the fence thing where in Shaun of the Dead, Jim, you haven't seen it, but in Shaun of the Dead, the whole thing with that is he jumps over the fence and the fence falls and he falls on his face and everybody kind of laughs at him. So in this movie, he jumps over, he does them all like a badass and then does like a flip. And then you see Nick Frost follow him and he falls into the fence. I just feel like the way that the timing of that and everything, it's like if you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, it's already funny. But if you have, it like so plays on that in a way, and the timing is perfect that it just like it. I could not stop laughing when I first saw it. The other one I liked, which I was talking about earlier, was when he's at his city police station and he's talking to his boss. He's telling him he's being reassigned, and he's like, "Hello, Nicholas. How's the hand?" Blah blah blah. Blah.
Oh, and then they all start like coming in and asking.
I just thought that was funny. Each guy coming in and asking him how the hand is. Yeah. And they were also, and Bill Nye was really funny in that scene. All three of those guys were funny, but
there's just so many gags that come at you.
Yeah, I think the one I enjoy is the guy with the the mine.
Oh yeah.
And Simon Pegg is trying to talk to him, and he can't figure out what the fuck he's saying. So it just becomes like this like three-way conversation, both
Chris,
ways.
You cut out.
Oh, did I? It becomes like this three-way conversation both ways, with like trying to figure out what the other one is saying. It just always fucking gets me.
You're talking about the guy like where
like the dude had like the Scouse accent, and then they would go to the guy who was slightly less British, and then it was just like you get just like, oh yeah, he's he says he doesn't.
That whole scene is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a funny movie. I think it's great on a lot of levels.
The greater good.
Yeah, the greater good. I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it, I guess.
It's only won a single Empire Award.
What the hell is an Empire Award?
I don't know. The video says that it is a British film magazine, Empire.
Oh, I forgot about a joke I like. I like when they're in the bar, like Jimmy was saying, and the kid has braces, and then the braces shine into Nicholas Angel's eyes. And he's like, ah! I love that one. That made me laugh a lot too. And I like what's his name? The actor who played the cop who keeps being a fucking dick to him the whole movie.
Oh, I know who you're talking. I don't know his name.
Paddy Considine, I think is his name. He's Andy Wainwright. He's so funny. I've seen him in something else. I don't know what, but Yeah, I like him.
Huh. Edgar Wright has a. He's apparently in the movie.
Oh, is he? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he was a shelf stacker, so he was probably in the either when they were like
Grocery
in the
store.
supermarket or during the shootout when everybody was like leaving.
Peter Jackson's also in the movie.
He directed
Yeah.
King Kong, right?
And Lord of the Rings. Yep.
But King Kong.
He was Santa Claus. He stabbed
Ah,
Simon Pegg in the hand.
I
Peter
forgot
Jackson of
that
King
they.
Kong fame.
What?
The Peter Jackson of King Kong fame.
Yeah, well, I just remember that because I had. This is like a deep cut, but I had like back in the day when they used to give demo discs for PS2 games, and one of them was the King Kong video game, and so like I would spend a lot of time like killing the T-Rex or whatever that's in the demo, and it would always say like Peter Jackson's King Kong, even though it was a game, not a movie. You know what I mean?
There's one person out there in the world who's like, I know exactly what
He's
you're talking
also
about,
playing. He
and
knows
what you're.
exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
the
Hey,
one person he's like, wow, I can't believe I feel seen.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm here on behalf of the modern man. Um, yeah. What were we talking about?
I was talking about how I have to water my peace lily. That's all. Water my peace lily.
What's
We
that
yeah. I
other
mean, I don't
phrase?
know. I don't know. I don't really know what else to talk about.
No, yeah. You know, when something is just so good, sometimes you don't have to spend an hour and a half talking about
Yeah.
it. Empire. So to go back to that, in 2020, that magazine named it the 67th greatest film of the 21st century.
That's
Wow.
pretty crazy. 67th
Yeah,
of the 21st century. What
that's what
year
it.
was that?
That's what it says.
What year did that come out?
They in 2020.
Pretty high. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe I would have to look at it. There's a lot of movies, bro. I mean, 67th.
I'll try and find the article at the moment.
I mean, I will say this is like one of my favorite comedies of all time.
It's up there.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say of the 21st century though, like
19.
top 100.
They okay, so I found the article best movies of all time. Oh wait, that's different. That's different
But I'm
from
also not like I'm not a huge comedy guy. I wouldn't say. I like them, but I'm not like I don't have.
Right.
I lean more towards like dramas and stuff.
60. What did I say? 67?
Yeah,
Well, this is just wrong because they referenced. So you know how like Wikipedia, you like look at the. Oh, never mind. Here it is. So they have it. They updated it, I guess, because it's now sitting at 60. It somehow went up 7 points of all
Huh.
time. So if you include
going up to
everything, it goes up.
60.
Yeah.
What do you mean of all time? Like
So the
of all time?
original on the Wikipedia piece, it says in 2020, Empire rated it 67th for the 21st century. But then you go to the references, and there's a article that is the best 100 movies of all time. And so I'm looking on here, and it says that it's number 60 in between Pan's Labyrinth and Moonlight.
Interesting.
That's so wild. That's so crazy. Between Pan's Labyrinth and Moonlight.
That's
I mean, I would agree it's better than Moonlight, probably. But Moonlight's very, very different.
I'll read their top 10 just so you can get a taste of their thoughts and feelings. So we're going to go number 10. Goodfellas. Number 9, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 8, Avengers Infinity War. Number 7, Pulp Fiction.
All right. All right,
All
stop.
right, yeah, this list is
Jaws,
not.
Shawshank, Dark Knight,
Nah,
Godfather,
nah,
Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back,
nah.
and Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring. Number 1 movie
Damn, they
ever.
might be based. Wait a minute. They picked the right Lord of the Rings movie?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We're gonna need to do a whole nother podcast on that. On which Lord of the Rings movie is the best Lord of the Rings.
Well, I'd have to see them first.
Yeah.
That
One day.
One
We'll do the
day.
extended 6-hour cut or whatever.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
For
I
one
have them.
movie, or for like it's like a big super cut of all the movies.
No, they're 3 hours each.
Well then,
So it's really 9 hours
but then how do you
total.
get 6?
I just said 6. It wasn't really
So
6.
it's 9?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
3 each. 3 hours. 3.5
Um.
hours each.
All right. Well. Uh. We're gonna take that a movie at a time. But anyway, final thoughts on Hot Fuzz as we close this out.
It's a great fucking movie. You should watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I guess my final thoughts would be that I think this movie shows what a comedy can be when you're willing to be creative and sometimes go out on a
Hey.
limb behind the camera, not just on the script and in the performance. Like when you actually tell jokes with the camera, tell jokes with the editing, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. I agree. I think now, when people talk about the British office being the better office, I'm inclined to agree with them now.
But you haven't seen it, so
Yeah, no,
that's
I
fucking
haven't seen
crazy.
that. I haven't seen either. So, as you know, for the sake of
Just
argument,
because you saw Hot Fuzz,
yeah,
you're now
yeah,
inclined to agree.
basically. So yeah, as a viewer, what would be best for you to do now is to like the video, like the pod, give a nice review. Click on any of our other reviews. Maybe check out the Pro Wrestling Podcast, otherwise known as the Real Graps Pod. Um, Other than that, check out our letterboxes. I have the link tree in every one of the videos, so go there, follow mine, and then you can go to the friends and you can follow theirs. If you guys want to shout out yours right now? If you just want to skip the
Yeah.
baloney and just go right to there, where can they find you?
My letterbox is at Rob Brett.
And mine is at Skip Sparky.
Lovely, because you guys actually post a lot on there.
Yeah.
I throw
I
I throw
try.
movies up when I watch them for the podcast, and that's it. You guys are doing it for the love of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
So,
do them for myself.
well, who knows? Maybe you'll start farming likes, and you'll be a niche micro internet celebrity. Anyway,
Whoa, that would be
One
crazy.
day.
that's the hole. That's the hole. Every hole is a goal. Yeah. Thank you. We'll see you all later.